Guys, I'm about to show you a really funny clip about Bill Simmons talking about the 49ers. It's great. And then we're going to talk about something Adam Schefter said that's not so great. You guys probably heard it. What's up, everybody? Welcome in Seth Floyd Show. I'm your host, Seth Floyd Hansen. Guys, when I hit record on this video, we were at 369 subscribers. You're awesome. If you're new here, please hit subscribe. The goal is to hit 500 by the start of football season in September. So we still, shoot man, we got 6 months. Let's make it happen. If you're new, hit that subscribe. You help me out a ton. Guys, before I play this clip, hopefully you saw it. It's gone pretty under the radar. It's Bill Simmons talking on his podcast. And he has a guy, Cousin Sal, who comes on his podcast during football season once a week. And they played this game called Guess the Lines. Now, they're big into betting. That's their thing. And Bill Simmons is by no means, he's just like a sports guy. He's not like a football expert. In fact, I've heard him say some pretty dumb things, but Bill Simmons is really entertaining. I like to listen to him. Anyway, they play this thing, Guess the Lines. They like to guess what Vegas has set lines for certain teams. They play it during the year to talk about like what is the point spread, what is the line. Well, Vegas just came out with their lines, win totals for each team for the upcoming season. And so they did a long episode where they guess. They don't look at the line right away and talk about it. They try to guess each what they think the line is going to be, and then they talk about it. So they get to the NFC West, and they're talking about the different teams, and they go in the order that the teams finish. So they start with the Rams. He guesses that the Rams are at 10.5. That's the line Vegas has set for them, 10.5 wins. And I think they're set at 9.5, maybe 8.5. He guesses Seattle is at like 7.5, and really they're at like 6.5, and then the were they that low? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, and then he talks about the Cardinals. They're at like 5.5. And then he gets to the Niners. And it's just so funny. Anyway, we're going to roll this. I'm about to roll this clip for you, and then we'll talk about it. Real quick. Josh, go ahead.
At least San Francisco, who lost so many people. It's like a whole paragraph of all the people they lost.
This is so tough.
And yet they were 6-11 last year. That was the rebuilding year. But now they're in a rebuilding year. And they're going to have to pay Purdy, but they are playing the South in the South. I said 6.5. What'd you have?
Oh, wow. I had 8.5.
Okay. Wow, this is the biggest disparity we've had.
It's got to be my way, right?
How is this right? 10.5.
That's too high. That's way high.
What in the hell? What am I missing?
You read enough about them, and it's like, yeah, these were good moves. These were good cuts. Debo Samuel, all these cuts, everything they did, Greenlaw. I don't know. I don't. They can't be.
I thought this was like a blow it up rebuilding year for them.
Wait, so they're favored to win the division? Not the Rams?
Tell you right now. I'm stunned by that. Yeah. San Francisco plus 155, Rams plus 180, Seahawks plus 490, Cardinals plus 500.
Wow.
So I have to bet this now. If I was 4 wins off, even though we don't know what's happening in the draft, that has to be an automatic bet for me.
So pretty funny. Okay, Bill Simmons, if you watch the clip, Bill Simmons, okay, he's going through, he's looking through. You can see it on his face. He's talking about the 49ers, or about how they're about to guess what the line is, and he stops and he's looking really close at his computer, and he's like super confused. And in his head, he had it set at like 6.5. And they can't believe it because it's a 10.5. He's like, is this right? Hilarious in my opinion. And I wanted to talk about it because here's something you don't, if you're not a sports bettor, which I'm not, but I love to look at the lines. I love to look at what Vegas thinks about certain teams, because here's the thing. Vegas agrees with you 49er fans and myself. Vegas does not think that all these things that have happened to the 49ers this offseason, all the guys that they've lost, is really that big of a deal. Vegas still has them at the highest over-under for their win total, and Vegas still gives the 49ers the best odds to win the division. Why does it matter? Why do I care more what Vegas thinks versus a guy like Bill Simmons or Ryan Clark or Dan Orlovsky or whoever, Colin Cowherd? Okay, why do I care more about what Vegas thinks? Because those guys, Dan Orlovsky, Colin Cowherd, whoever, Bill Simmons, they do not get paid on being right. They get paid by getting viewed and watched. Now, I think Bill Simmons genuinely thinks the 49ers are going to be bad, but I think Bill Simmons has like dug into the 49ers or dug into all these teams to know really what the state of the franchise is? Do I think Colin Cowherd has or Dan Orlovsky? No, none of these guys do. I don't blame them. That's not what they're paid to do. They're paid to get headlines and get viewers watching. But Vegas, how does Vegas make money, guys? They make money by being right. They make money by winning, okay? So Vegas has inside sources. Vegas analyzes things a lot different than these guys. It does Vegas no good to set the line for the 49ers at 6.5 if everyone's going to bet the over and then the Niners win at least 7 games and they lose a ton of money. Their success hinges on being right, or at least finding the right line to where they can make a little money off it to get people. Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to have everybody who listens to Bill Simmons, to all these people, betting the under on the 49ers. And they might be right. Vegas isn't right 100% of the time. I mean, for all we know, the Niners could be bad. No one thought the Niners were going to be this bad this year. But Vegas essentially is telling you they thought last year was an anomaly. All those injuries were terrible, okay? And that's what held them back. And they think this year, if guys are healthy, that it's going to be fine. Because Vegas is going to make a ton of money. If the Niners win 11 games, which is a lot, that's a lot of games. But if the Niners win 11 games, they're going to clean up because everybody's going to bet that under. Everyone's going to bet it under. But you know what Vegas is looking at? They're looking at, like we said, a lot of these guys that they lost, most of them were like fringe starters, backup guys. Outside of Greenlaw and Hufanga, like who did you lose? Aaron Banks, not losing sleep over losing Aaron Banks. Jalen Moore, great, he got paid, not losing sleep over it. They're also banking on, look at how easy the 49ers schedule is. It is very easy, and I think it got even easier given how Seattle looks right now. I mean, no Geno, which I can't believe I'm saying, but no Geno, no DK. Still haven't, really improved that offensive line. You still got to see the draft, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying, you 49er fans, Vegas agrees with you, and that's a good thing. And I think it's hilarious. Bill Simmons, I wonder if he'll talk about it later, but he's like, oh, I'm betting that because there's no way. But he doesn't know. They just see all these names of guys they've lost, and they just assume it's doomsday, and they're resetting. He says that. He's like, I just thought they were going in complete rebuild mode. Of course you did, because you're just looking at the names lost, and they didn't add anybody in free agency. But you know what? Everyone said that same thing with the Bills last year. I did. I thought they were going to be terrible. 2 years ago, everyone said it with the Rams. They had like 18 rookies make the team, and I was like, oh my gosh, that might be the worst team in the league. And then guess what? They just make the playoffs. Okay? This has been done before, and you got to hit on your picks, and your quarterback has to be right. They need to hit on the picks in this draft, and Brock Purdy needs to play better than he played last year. But I'm pretty motivated. I'm pretty excited, I should say. I'm pretty optimistic. Not that they'll be back to 2023 levels, but they're definitely going to be better than next year. Also, the other thing Vegas is taking into account, Robert Saleh is a freaking good DC. Nick Sorensen was real bad. That alone is going to help right the ship. So anyway, I just thought it was funny. Thought it was a good clip. Let me know in the comments what you think about Bill Simmons, think about his take, all that good stuff. It's a good listen. I like Bill Simmons a lot. I think he's funny. I think he's really entertaining. The second part of this video, guys, Josh, throw it up on there. Coach Yak. This is a Coach Yak tweet, but he's quoting Adam Schefter. Shout out to Coach Yak, by the way, one of my favorite 49er accounts. Schefter said today on his podcast that he is talking about the Brandon Ayuk timeline. You can read it, whatever. Basically says I expect Ayuk to be ready mid-season. Mid-season. That's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Not out of it shouldn't be unexpected that he would be out till mid-season, but you've got a lot of people that really thought Ayuk could be ready week 1. Now Jeff Mueller, who's I guess he's a doctor. He's an account I follow. He talks a lot of 49ers injuries. He talks injuries in general, but it feels like he talks a lot of 49ers injuries. And he's given an update. Josh is throwing it up there. You can see, he says if Ayuk doesn't play till week 8, which would be the midpoint, that would be 11 months post-op surgery. And then he cites 2 other guys. Oh gosh, why can't I remember right now? Chris Godwin and oh shoot, I should have looked at it. Whoever else whoever else, it'll come to me probably here in a minute. But both those guys were about 9 months from surgery. And he says if Ayuk plays week 1, he'll be about 9 months from his surgery. Something like that. And so he has hope. He has hope. But this is what I'm going to say, guys. This is what I'm going to say. Even if it were me, conventional wisdom says just split the difference. Conventional wisdom says he's probably not playing week 1, but I don't think he's going to miss all the way till week 8. So he's probably going to start on the PUP list and miss the first 4 weeks. But that's not the problem, guys. The bigger problem is what is he going to be when he comes back? Now, they're not going to trade him. No one's taking that contract. No one's going to, they might give up a 6th-round pick. The Niners aren't doing that, okay? But what is he going to be when he comes back? And so this got me thinking, guys, the 49ers are going to spend higher draft capital than any of you want on a wide receiver. Your heart's going to pound a little bit. Remember my face when we're on the clock and it's pick 11 and Teteroa McMillan is still on the board. For those of you who are super anti taking a wide receiver there, understandably so, they probably need to go trenches. But if they feel like T-Mac is a generational guy, they're going to really think hard about it, especially if the timeline feels like he might not be back till week 8. Now, let me say this too. Guys, they're probably not even sold. They're not even sold on him past this year. Let's say he comes back and is fine, like a serviceable starter. But I think there's outs in his contract. They can get out of his contract after this season relatively low. What I'm saying is, if they're looking beyond 2025, everything they've done this offseason has been to look beyond 2025. Okay. Now, they want somebody who can contribute and help in 2025, but they're going to make moves that improve all the way. And if they are not sold on Ayuk, especially because he's coming off this horrific injury, guys, this is a horrific injury. Torn ACLs are bad enough. He tore his MCL too, his knee dislocated. This is a very difficult injury to come back from. Do not set yourself up for disappointment expecting to see 2023 Brandon Ayuk. I hope I'm wrong, but I would bet money you are not going to see that version of him. Which sucks. It just sucks. Sucks for him, sucks for the team, sucks for the fans. And they know this. They know this. Now, maybe they feel good enough about, Jennings looked like a number 1 last year. Maybe they feel good enough about Pearsall coming along, Jacob Cowing. So maybe they feel like they don't need to take a guy. And that could be true. That could be true. But if they're look, guys, let's play out 2025. Maybe we can trade him after 2025 because we can get out of his contract easier. But we need a dude. We need a young stud to pair with Ricky Pearsall and Jennings for the future, for this next wave that we're building. Don't be surprised if at 11 they took a T-Mac. Or maybe they trade back. I know they want to trade back. Everyone should know. They want to trade back and acquire more picks. Maybe they trade back into the 20s and Emeka Egbuka, gosh, I'm going to say it wrong. Maybe he's on the board. Ohio State receivers, a good track record in the NFL. Maybe they pick in the 20s and they take him and they've acquired an extra 2nd-round pick. I don't know. Maybe Luther Burden's on the board. I'm not the biggest. I think he'd be good. He'd be fine, but whatever. Maybe Matthew Golden's on the board. I don't know. This is a weird wide receiver class. And I think there's some good value later, but I'm just saying they are going to spend more on a wide receiver and draft capital directly tied to the Ayuk situation. And I think Ayuk's going to be on the team this year. He's going to play. But if it's right that they're doing everything focusing beyond 2025, which I feel like they are, everything they've done this offseason makes me feel that way, they are going to be looking for another young receiver to add to pair with Ricky Pearsall and Jennings going forward. I don't think they'll do it in the first round. I'm just saying I think it's a bigger chance than we originally thought. If I had to put money on it right now, I think that if you asked me today, was today the 30th, the 29th? I can't remember. It's Friday. I think the pick is going to be Mike Green at 11. That's just what my gut says. I think that he could be big enough difference maker. You could take him there. That's assuming Mason Graham isn't on the board. If Mason Graham's on the board, it'll be Mason Graham. If he's not, they're going to take a Mike Green, and then they're going to address the interior defensive line rounds 2 and 3. That would be my guess. Anyway, that's what I think. But it's not good. It's not looking good for Ayuk. I don't think he'll be out till week 8. But I think he misses the first 4 games probably. But what is he going to do when he comes back? You need Jennings to step up. You need Jennings to just be Jennings. He stepped up last year, and he was a freaking dog, and I'm grateful to have him. When I say he just needs to stay healthy, that's really what it is. When you really need Ricky Pearsall to take the next step, just continue on the path he was. He was getting better each week. Him and Brock were timing. They're getting their timing right, and they looked really good at the end of the year. And then I'd love to see Jacob Cowing get some run. We'll see what Kyle thinks of him, but I love Jacob Cowing. I think he's a dynamic piece in the offense that they need. So just some stuff to think about. I'm going to keep doing my draft crushes. I have at least 2 more that I want to do before the draft. I'll probably hit you with those next week. But thank you for being here. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, like the video, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies. I'm going to start giving out dollars or something. What can I do to get you to subscribe? Can I send you $1? I'm not going to promise that I'll send you $1, but I won't promise that I won't send you $1. So keep that in mind.
Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
Well, it's free for you to hit the button. Maybe you'll get $1 in the mail. Maybe you'll get $1 in the Venmo. Maybe I'll send you some flowers too. I don't know. You don't know. You won't know unless you hit subscribe. So that's all I'm saying. That's what I got for you guys. Good times. We're rolling. We're getting closer to the draft. Things are looking up. I promise you this season's going to be better than what the national media thinks. So anyway, that's what I got. No paper, but